I want to come in completely with a new slate, and let's just see what we can do.
Of the 6 mayoral candidates, one of them is James Frey.
Been living in Lethbridge for about 21 years. My wife and I moved here in 1989 from Calgary, and decided to stay. And since then we've had a daughter. She's 12 years old.
Frey has decided to run for mayor of Lethbridge for one simple reason.
I love Lethbridge. I wanted to see Lethbridge grow and prosper, and I think under the current burden of high taxes and high utilities, we're seeing that growth being diminished.
Frey has been a public relations practitioner for over 20 years, working here in Lethbridge for the college and also the government of Alberta. He now has his own business.
My business is actually called corporate storytelling, where I help businesses basically tell their stories to the larger public.
One of Frey's platforms is to lower taxes by looking at how City Hall is spending money on services.
We need to look at the city's budget line by line. About 60% of the budget is actually HR. So some of those things we can't cut because they're tied to union contracts. But the other 40% is not.
As mayor, Frey has a solution to this.
We need to start looking at how we contract services, what we hire consultants for, where some of the money is going in terms of capital costs, in terms of operating costs.
The heart of Frey's campaign has been door knocking. Ever since July, when he announced his candidacy, he's been pounding the pavement, getting feedback from the community.
I've been meeting with tons of people over the summer, individually and as groups, and I'm hearing more and more discontent about what's going on in City Hall, and they'd like to see some changes.
From living 21 years in Lethbridge, Frey sees many benefits from being here.
Well, we have a lot of great things about the city. I mean, there's a great park system. We have a lot of services out there for the public.
But for Frey, there is a lot of improvement we can do.
What's not working is how much we're spending on that stuff. City administration is extremely top-heavy. We have a lot of folks in City Hall. We need to start looking at what we can do about not necessarily trimming the numbers of city employees, but certainly looking at how we manage that staff.
Frey also hopes to use his connections in Edmonton for the benefit of Lethbridge.
I've dealt with a number of cabinet ministers up there directly, and so I've got some connections up there that I can certainly capitalize on and use.
As the day of voting approaches, you can check out more about James Frey at his website, freyformayor.com. You can also check out his Facebook profile, James Frey for Mayor of Lethbridge, and you can follow him on Twitter. For LCTV News, I'm Ted Andrew.